Kenda. So a little birdie told me that some of these lectures that you'll be doing over the course of the next 3 years in this series is actually going to help you to think about and revisit your earlier work entitled Practice and Passion. Mm-hmm. And so I was wondering if you could tell me how this particular lecture around friendship, commitment, and integrity is kind of helping you think about and revisit this work around passion.
Well, thanks for that. The part of this book that kind of led to this whole research on this lecture came out of the conversation that's in this book about fidelity and the love that is worth dying for as being, that's part of the definition of passion. But it's also connected to joy in some ways. There's joy without suffering is not joy, and we've sanitized joy in some ways to make it so that nothing ever is uncomfortable, nothing ever hurts, nothing ever is painful. And not only is that, delusional, it's also, kids do not buy that as real. They live in a world where the heights of joy and the depths of despair are experienced 10 times before breakfast, and so they live in between these complex, interrelated, tightly bound, but often, we consider them opposite emotions. They're really flip sides of the same coin, right? Joy is joy because it contrasts the despair of hopelessness. And, to have someone in your life who befriends you to the point where they will go to the mat for you, that gives you a strength, a virtue is what Erickson would have called it, a virtue of being able to think that, wow, that's what being true to somebody is like. That's what it looks like to have faith, is to be true to something. And it turns out that's a strength that you're supposed to get when you're, an adolescent. That's part of the adolescent project, is learning that. Anyway, what that says to me is this ability to befriend in these complex, nuanced ways are things that young people they're basically practicing this every day. If they practice friendship without the church, that is a sin of omission on our part, because they're going to practice friendship with or without us. But if they ever are going to receive what it feels like to be loved by a God who loves them so much that whether they ever return the favor or not, God is still going to be in their corner, they're not going to get that message anywhere outside of the church. So we need to be on our game.